We were at one point going to be joined by the great Aaron Imholt. Of course, he is busy. But we do have a goal set up that if we can get 10 super chats within the next hour, Erock is going to take off his shirt. So that is the goal. They can be minor, they can be huge, but whatever they are, let's get something offensive and bigoted. And speaking of which, we're starting off well with a nice one. I'm sure it'll be friendly from $2 for Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid. Doxed. Yo, Erock. Coke Oreo's still #1, or you got a new fave?
Yeah, I know him. I've no soda. Been no soda since June, so all done with all that stuff.
I will never drink soda ever again, and you can quote me because it's nothing but shit and it's bad for you.
Turd.
There are a couple of good ones still, but I just got to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. So it's all iced tea or Crystal Light now.
Well,
that's about it.
Speaking of shit that's bad for you, of course, you guys both have worked for Sirius in the past. You know, I work for iHeartRadio, but we are now living in the golden age of radio because finally the king has taken his rightful throne, and Sam Roberts, the funniest guy in the world, is the host of what used to be the greatest radio show of all time. But now it's better because Sam Roberts is hosting it all by himself. And if there's one thing...
Better or badder? I can't tell with your accent.
That's racist. But what we've got to do is that... what I need to know is... from your thoughts, Erock, to see what the fuck has happened in the past from a show that was literally called the greatest radio show ever, that competed with Howard Stern, that now the Will Ferrell with cancer looking shithead is the sole survivor. Your thoughts, Erock, you lovely man.
Good on him. You know, any company that's willing to pay anybody nowadays, take it for all it's worth. Don't leave. Write it out till it's done, and then deal with it after the fact. So if he's last man standing, good for him. I don't think that company's due to be around much longer, but you know, take it for what they're giving it for him. So,
have you heard a little bit of scoop?
It's not scoop. It's public. They got to cut $75 million this year, and they're not claiming any profit. And they decided that they're not focusing on streaming anymore. They're only focused on the car subscriptions, and they had to admit they have no one under 35 that subscribes. So it was all public information. So there's no scoop. It's like they came out and said, hey, we have to admit we're in a lot of shit. So, but to be fair, all the media companies are in a terrible place right now. So everyone's lucky to have whatever they got.
And they think that Sam Roberts is the way to fix that?
That I have no idea.
Quad. Chad, what do you think about this Sam Roberts stuff? Do you hate his fucking guts as much as I do?
I'm not a fan of his work, but I guess his work ethic, because he stayed with it and inherit the time slot officially fully to himself. I mean, again, it's a credit to how long he stayed with that commitment. You know, I don't know. That's all I could say to him. Again, not a big fan of what he does. I don't think he's very funny. I think he's very funny looking, but I guess it's just a credit to how long he stood with it. I mean, and I don't think if you asked him the first day he started there that he would end up taking the spot in 2025. I don't think he would have said yes, but there he is. He's got it. And nobody else does. So good on him. Just not a fan.
I would rather put Eric Clapton in charge of closing my kid's bedroom window than I would have Sam Roberts be put in charge of hosting my radio show.
That's a time
he's as funny as finding a lump. But do you have any contact?
Windows are pretty high up in that building.
Unlike their ratings. But Erock, do you have any form of contact to Sam at all?
No, I haven't. When was the last time I talked? Oh, we did a Steve C 10-year anniversary special. God, 3 or 4 years back, and that was the last time I talked to any of them.
And did Sam admit to the guilt behind it all?
No, I don't know any guilt, but he wouldn't admit that his head was full of candy like Steve used to claim, and kept trying to grab him by the head and smash his head open on a regular basis. Wouldn't admit to that, even though everybody knows that is a fact. Other than that, no, there was nothing else he admitted to.
I just think that it's such a crazy sign of the times that like if you look at little Jim Norton, if you remember that guy.
I heard of him.
I'm as gay as it gets.
The fact that he would, at this stage of his life and career, be thinking, okay, I'm done with the radio. I'm not doing this shit anymore. I've got to do my own thing, and it's already taken off. Like I just think that Sam Roberts is the perfect example of why radio is dying, and fuck him.
Okay, that's
I mean,
that's
you know,
what you
I'm
wanna
not
go
gonna.
with.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of that because I kind of felt like again, I don't love his style, so I kind of felt like when he started to evolve up and started to get more, you know, bigger time slots, bigger exposure, it kind of seemed like anybody could really get into this and do this because he wasn't a standout, you know, performer. I'm not gonna just kiss Erock's butt because he's here, but I always thought that you were very good as a single broadcaster, and I thought that you had a little bit more presence than a Sam Roberts, and I could never understand why Sam would always be at the lead if people were out, and that Erock wasn't at the lead when people were out. So when Sam started to get the lead and started to be, I just never understood, and I think that kind of paved the way for others with not so great broadcasting presence to now also begin to take the forefront. So yeah, I think Hughezy's kind of got it, that it was kind of the start of a not so great era for radio.
And I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different things. You know, it could be that when Ant left and then they got rid of Ope, they saved a lot of money. So
I want to sit here and spout about black people.
Okay. So yeah, they saved a lot of money, and then the same thing with Norton too. I mean, I don't know the facts of why Jim left, but the little rumblings I heard, I'm guessing was still over money that they were trying to undercut him, and he just was tired of doing it, and especially for whatever they wanted to pay him. I found out, like everybody else, where he was taping a episode of his he brought back his advice show, and he was doing it, I guess it was during the holiday break, and he admitted during the recording that he wasn't coming back, and that's when I guess was the official notice that he was done. Everybody there right now earned their spot, but they're all just hanging on because where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
Like anybody at Sirius right now that's not a major name, a celebrity, influencer, any of that stuff, if they left tomorrow, what other network's going to pick them up? I can't think of any. And that wasn't the way, even 10 years ago, that wasn't the way. I could picture, I mean, anybody who would leave, I knew places they could go. I knew where there were availabilities. Now, unless they're spending millions of dollars to license somebody else's property, they don't want to own anything. They don't want any kind of high price talent if it's not going to translate into sales money for them. So I don't know where any of this is going to go, but look, if he's managed to hang on and I guess they made him a new deal and they kept his guys with them, then, God bless him. Good that they could get it.
Well, I'm just glad for Jim Norton. He's able to spend more time at home with his wife.
634 blowjobs in 5 days.
This is how much time during your week is it just finding obscure drops that you think are going to work in every conversation to punch it up?
Turd?
Yeah, like that. That's an old one. That's like 30 years old, that drop. That's a 90s drop.
Yeah, no, that may be my favorite part of it all.
It's an old man cow thing. Yeah.
That was just the way Anthony kept saying fucking turd. It's a classic. But I just think it's such a shame that Like, and I still think it's really weird that it's still not happening. That these radio shows aren't taking advantage of social media, and that there's all these classic bits and segments and conversations that should have been uploaded and released officially. Like I just the other day did my annual listen to the Mel Gibson tapes roast.
Yeah.
And it's the funny, like, that, the fact that's my favorite O&A bit. Like, that is just the darkest fucking stuff of this guy, this complete psychopath having an insane mental breakdown, who's admitting to hitting his pregnant wife, who's saying all this racist shit, all this homophobic shit.
I'm as gay as it gets.
And, they just make it so fucking funny. Like, that's gold. And that's funny. Sam Roberts talking about SummerSlam memories is not. He's a skunt. He's a skunt, and he's a and I don't like him. And I think it's a shame. And it's kind of like when you have a band you love, and it didn't stop when it should have. It's like Bon Jovi. Look at the state of those fucking guys now.
Well, just one guy. It was named after him, so he can keep going as long as he wants.
Hit like. Thank you, Corndiff, for the reminder. You're a good boy, well raised. But Bon Jovi, I'm always pretty sure that band took that name simply for the initials, so that he could do some cheesy chat-up line, be like, "Hey, how about a BJ for JBJ?" And he would laugh every time that it happened. He's a disgusting person. Let's cancel John Bon Jovi.
Baby, baby.
There you go.